Hey everybody, happy Saturday. It's day 20 of Budget Watch 2017. Weekend at Bernie's. If Bernie is the dead guy that owns the state capitol. I don't know. I've been up here way too much. So, last night, one of my board members and I, and just some other fixers came up here and to bring some cookies to the press corps, because those folks work hard and don't get they don't get treats from lobbyists, I guess. And it was rainy, and we got up here right as they were leaving. The House was just finishing up. Representatives were kind of sprinting out the door as they got stuff to do on Friday night, and the press really were running around like a chicken with its head cut off, not sure what's happening, if JCAP's in session, if it's not, House, Senate, all that. It's kind of a hot mess. So shout out to those guys for doing hard work. Thanks for all you do and for keeping us all in the loop. So today, we got here at 9 o'clock this morning. Many of you came for our, we called it budget breakfast and wear black. So I've got a black shirt on. We had a great turnout. We had about 150 people that showed up at 9 o'clock and about 100 more that came in throughout the day. For something we planned last night with our SOS Coalition members. We talked about it at 4 o'clock, and you guys showed up on Saturday morning, and thank you so much. It was huge. The Senate was there. They were in session. We packed the gallery. There's a bunch of folks in the House right now. Not everyone can stay. There's, one party's convention is going on today, and so it's a lot of folks are at that. But we had lots of people here, and they had lots of conversations, and I spoke to lots of them afterwards and had a bunch of great conversations myself with Republican and Democratic members of both chambers. And it sounds like, and then Edmund just had a press conference, and so is, second verse, same as the first. Budget talks have stalled out, broken down. So I guess there's not going to be a vote on anything today. So they're going to come back tomorrow. There may be JCAP today. They might discuss revenue stuff. Nobody really knows. It sounds like we will very likely have a special session. I assume it'll be a concurrent one that will start on Monday that will allow them to hear revenue measures next week. They almost will certainly have to, unless by some chance they can pass it today and tomorrow. Edmund's holding strong at 5. He said in his conference, I think, that he offered 4.5% on GPT, and the Republicans are refusing to budge off of 4, which is not what we heard yesterday. We heard they'd offered 4, so I don't know. So I think he's at 5, they're at 4, and they are still just kind of stuck there in the middle. A lot of folks, a lot of just the regular folks who are here today said, they've been in the same room for 3 days discussing GPT. They can't come to an agreement. I did sales for years, sold a lot of roofs in this state, and every deal takes an hour. Man, you can buy a car in just a couple hours, and that's an arduous process. So I think a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle are getting pretty worn out with this and just ready for it to be done. Admittedly, myself included. We want our state to be funded. We want to have core services funded. We want folks to be okay and to not keep kicking it down the road. But we've really got to get some good stuff on the table and just get an agreement, right? So I had a conversation with a few of the senators. They were all Republican senators right before I left, and I'm just going to ask them what they felt like were victories this year and where they were at. And they talked pretty openly about the things that they've, admittedly, I think for their caucus is difficult to sell back home. That they have raised revenue on a number of things, when it's all said and done, it will arguably, no matter what the number is, be one of the largest tax increases on the people of Oklahoma in the last couple of decades. And that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of voters, because lots of folks don't want taxes increased. It's a hard deal though, because folks say, I don't want new taxes. Don't increase taxes, but don't cut services. And there's this, I think, misconception that there is this enormous amount of waste in government that can be pruned down. Is there some? Certainly. There's always some. But I would wager there's not $1 billion of waste in government. part of government bureaucracy is it's inefficient because it's big and we have all these checks and balances in place. So we have lots of departments that have to review things and approve them because we do that in response to voter or taxpayer pressure to make sure that people spend money wisely. And so it's a double-edged sword. Like, you can't, government efficiency is an oxymoron, and it can't be super efficient like a lean startup could be, but we also don't want to spend a lot of money on it, so kind of in a pickle. So anyway, thanks so much. I've got a bunch of photos I'll post on Facebook and Twitter here in a little while. Thanks so much for everybody who came out. The other overwhelming thing we heard from almost everybody, rank and file, House and Senate, said, we asked them, what would you vote for? And they said, we'll vote for whatever comes up for a vote. So whatever gets put up for vote, they would support. And people, asked, would you support 5% GPT? Yeah. Would you support 7%? Yeah. Just whatever's up there. We're sick of this. We just want to go home. And so it was really kind of funny to hear so many people say, yeah, we'll vote for whatever. So hopefully something, a reasonable number gets put up for vote, and they can say yes to it. They really want to. There's a broad support for lots of these things. Again, if they would just get up for a vote. So now it's just down to leadership, maybe in both chambers. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe today we'll pass something. Who knows? Not me. It's now a little after 1 o'clock, and I've got to go home and do a few things today. It's the weekend. Hats off to all the folks that are staying up here. Thanks again, seriously, everyone who came out. It was a great crowd. If I met you and you had questions I didn't get a chance to answer, please send me a message or email. I'll be happy to answer them or try to direct you to someone who can. And if there's any new news that happens this afternoon, I'll let you know. Tomorrow, Sunday, they are planning, as of right now, they are planning to be here at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. I may or may not be able to make it back up here, but if we have a contingency that comes, obviously you're welcome to come whenever you'd like. It's your building. You can come as often as you want. I will put it out on Facebook and Twitter if we're going to come up here again and maybe hang out. Oh, they did, the Senate did advance the long laterals bill, which is important for oil and gas, for a variety of reasons that I'm too tired to go into. And also they at least were discussing bonding the new state public health lab, which is super important. If we don't get a new public health lab, the current one we have is already, it's going to lose accreditation, or it already has, and we'll have to close down. And then we can't run all kinds of tests, like HIV confirmatory tests, like a lot of the tests that they use for public health things like tuberculosis and flu, and then lots of the labs that are run related to crimes. And so there's a lot of stuff that the public health lab does, way more than this. I'm boiling it down to just a few things, but it's super important. So that's exciting. They're talking about it. Again, I don't know why they're waiting to the very end. We've known this is needed for a long time, and bonding is probably the way to go. So anyway, get out and enjoy this nice weather today. Be like me. I'm going to get off social media for a while and just be cool. You guys have fun. Have a great weekend. We'll update you later.